Hello, my lovelies. Well, hello, my love. Hello, my lovelies. Hello, my lovelies. Hello, my lovelies. Hello, my lovelies. Whatever. We'll work with that. I finished, almost finished. It was basically finished. One video about 10 years, 10 things that I would tell my past self. And so now I've also prepared one that I'm going to be looking down a lot for, warning you, because I'm reading it from my book of notes that I make for some of my more informative vlogs. This one's on actually sociopathy, because it's something that fascinates me for a reason that you will soon know. So, through deep self-analysis and research, I've decided something about myself, that I am a sociopath, and granted, I'm a very well-adapted sociopath. I have many coping mechanisms, I exert control over my impulses. Nonetheless, that's what I am. I fit all 16 hallmarks, which I will be discussing. During my research, I discovered official diagnosis charts, and I'm going to be sharing them with you in this public forum, so I want you guys to feel free to comment on how you see the diagnosis and if you think they're antiquated, because they were updated in the late 80s, so they're not the originals, but they're fairly close because they haven't seen a need to change them much. Dr. Herbie Cleckley wrote this book in 1941 called The Mask of Sanity, which was about psychopaths and sociopaths. He based it on his interviews with many incarcerated psychopaths and sociopaths. So these were people who already had criminal tendencies. He defines in his book 16 hallmarks of sociopathy, and he was the first one to use the label psychopath, as before it was just referred to as mania without delirium, which, if you think about it, is an excellent descriptor for it. Cleckley described psychopaths as perfect mimics. They were able to imitate a normally functioning person, even though they didn't have the ability to experience genuine emotions that they were imitating. Cleckley's subjects were all criminals, so some of the 16 characteristics are not applicable to functioning sociopaths in society, because these sociopaths that are not, not discovered in society, myself included, choose not to act on their erratic desires, but for the most part the hallmarks still stand true, and I'm going to go through them one by one, and I think I'll probably annotate them into the video. Number 1, superficial charm and high intelligence. Number 2, absence of irrational thinking. Number 3, absence of psychoneuroses. Number 4, unreliability. Number 5, insincerity. Number 6, lack of remorse. Number 7, antisocial behavior without appropriate cause. Number 8, failure to learn by experience. Number 9, egocentricity and incapacity for love. Number 10, lack of facial affect. Number 11, lack of insight. Number 12, unresponsive to interpersonal relations. Number 13, uninviting behavior generally. Number 14, empty threats of suicide. Number 15, trivial and impersonal sex life. And number 16, lack of follow-through on plans. Sociopaths are not necessarily criminal in any nature, but they just don't have the ability to comprehend the meaning of life as lived by normal people. I hate how often the terms sociopath and psychopath are misused to just be thrown at any random just nut job who has anything from a facial tic to an irrational wonderland that they live in, which is completely against what an actual sociopath or psychopath is. One of the defining characteristics of sociopathy is a lack of delusions. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly why they're doing it. They get a kick out of it. They have a tendency to fail on purpose, just for the hell of it. I personally have some experience with that. You get sociopaths who never go to jail because they're not criminals. Being a sociopath or a psychopath does not inherently make you a criminal. It merely means that you have that condition, and it's not even an obvious mental disorder. It's a subversive sort of thing. People think of them as sneaky or as insincere, but they don't think of them as crazy. Usually you can't even tell. I mean, I seem like a perfectly high functioning normal person, right? I seem like I care about what I do. I seem like I have general compassion for people. I don't. My best friend in the world, who I probably could love, I probably would love if I could love anyone, I would not be sad to see her die. I mean, like, I'd be affected. I would be, I would lack her communiques, but I wouldn't be devastated. I wouldn't have any emotional connection to death. That's why, I'm going to the career field I'm choosing, because I don't have any connection to human life. It doesn't affect me. I see a little old lady crossing the street. I don't feel the need to help her. I hear a baby crying. All I think is, God, shut it up. I lack compassion. And people need to stop thinking that sociopaths are nut jobs, are the people you see rocking to themselves in the street. You don't. Sociopaths are normal functioning people. So that was my semi-informative, video on sociopathy. This is Brigitte signing out.